people. My people. So it looks like we're going to get the rematch between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. I'm all in on that rematch. Obviously, that's going to be a heck of a fight, a slugfest type of situation where a fight is going to break out early. um, and you know what? I've been saying it. That's the rematch that needed to happen. Daniel Dubois landed a nasty body shot on Alexander Usyk that it would have been a stoppage. He would have won that fight by stoppage, but the referee ruled it a low blow. When you see the replay, that wasn't a low blow, my people. That was not. Dubois should have been the first guy to defeat Alexander Usyk by stoppage. But sometimes that's not the way the cookie crumbles. The referee ruled it a low blow. Usyk was given a break to recover, and then after that, he was able to do his thing and beat Dubois. So this rematch is definitely something that should have been happened, and let's see how it goes. Let's see how it plays out. It's going to be a heck of a fight. Now, I have to say, I'm going with Usyk to win this rematch, but Dubois already showed that he can win this fight. You know, there's not a guaranteed or an easy win for Alexander Usyk. It's going to be a tough fight. It's going to be competitive. And let's see how it plays out. Definitely, it's definitely one of those fights that you know is going to be action-packed. Usyk got hands for days. The most technically sharp heavyweight of this era. We could arguably say that it's Usyk. You know, his ring IQ, combination punching, hand speed, defense. Yo, Usyk got it all. Usyk got everything in his arsenal on the defensive side and on the offense as well. And Dubois can fight. You know, Dubois is a guy who I would say he don't have some of the attributes that you could see in Usyk's bag of tools, but Dubois can fight, my people. So this is a rematch that, like I said, man, you know, Dubois should have won the first fight with that body blow that was ruled a low blow, and since he didn't get the W, since it wasn't ruled correctly, at least now he's going to get a rematch and an opportunity to try to get that win. And you know what, to be honest, I feel like Dubois is going into this fight feeling confident in himself, just because, you know, how it played out in the first fight. And I'm interested, man. I'm interested. I know that this is going to be one of those action-packed type of showdown. We know Alexander Usyk, how he fights. We know he's not in the ring to be running around and try to fight defensively. He's gonna let them hands go. He's gonna put hands on you. And then Daniel Dubois, the same deal. He's out there to put hands on you. Daniel Dubois wants to inflict bodily harm. Put it to you like that. So it's a fight that we have to be looking forward to. We're definitely gonna enjoy it. I think it plays out similar to Dmitry Bivol versus Arthur Beterbiev, where it was just a back and forth kind of fight. Like, oh my God, this guy looking like he's gonna win. Oh my God, look, they're going at it toe to toe, blow for blow. With Dubois and Usyk, you know. Damn, my peoples, hit that like button, man. Don't be cheap with your boy Jay Smith. By the way, I'm dropping some new videos today, some long videos, shorts, and I'll be going live later on to talk about this boxing, my people. There's a lot going on in the world of boxing, and I'm talking about Usyk and Dubois because that was just announced recently by the Ring Magazine. Situation with Terrence Bud Crawford, where He's supposed to be fighting Canelo next in September, but Eddie Hearn is saying that Crawford versus Boots is the biggest fight, is the fight to make. Now, a lot of us have been wanting to see Terence Crawford versus Jerron Ennis. We've been wanting to see that fight. But I'm wondering, has the ship sailed on that fight? And the only reason I say that is because, Terence Crawford is going to be fighting at 168 pounds versus Canelo. And there won't be no rehydration clause. Them dudes are going to be weighing like 180 pounds for that fight. So imagine, do you think Crawford will fight weighing about 180 pounds, and then for his very next fight, cut down all the way to 154? I don't know, man. That's a tough, tough task to cut down that much weight. I don't know. Honestly, my people, I don't know. That's a very tough task right there. Oh, maybe Crawford and Boots can meet at a catch weight. Because I don't know, like I said, man, I don't know if Crawford is going to fight at 168 and then drop down 2 whole divisions to meet up with Boots at 154. Which, by the way, Boots is still a welterweight. He's still trying to become undisputed at 147. And he would have to get past Brian Norman Jr. and Mario Barrio. So we have to see. Oh shit, did I pass it? Damn, bro, I think I passed the exit. That's crazy. That's crazy work. I was supposed to take the exit right now, my people. I done passed it. The goofiest of the oofiest right there. But I want to see how that whole situation is going to play out with Terence Crawford, Jerron Boots Ennis. Are they going to fight each other? Or is that fight just a dream fight that we're never going to get? I think it can actually play out like that. We may end up not getting that fight. I really wanted it. I don't want to disappoint y'all. I know a lot of people want that fight, but the odds are against it happening. I'm just being real with y'all. I hope I'm going the right way over here, man. I think I don't even know where I'm going, man. I'm kind of lost out here. But yeah, my people, Terence Crawford versus Jerron Boots Ennis, man. That's the fight that everybody has wanted to see. It's a fight that, that's a great fight. That's the way to describe it. That is a great fight. And I want to see it. I know a lot of you want to see it. Chapangulia, bro, I am back to watch you. Appreciate it, my guy. I was running this morning, did a little 5 miles. I actually went live for that. But yeah, man, we talking about Terence Crawford, Jerron Boots Ennis. Is that fight gonna happen? We want to see it, man. We want to see it. We want to see that fight happen. But the reality is that Terence Crawford is focused on Canelo Alvarez. And I believe that because of that, we might not get Boots versus Crawford. You got to think about it. Terence Crawford, he's trying to make history. He's trying to do something, that no one is ever come close to being able to accomplish. Not just moving up, not just moving up 2 weight classes, because there's been a couple of fighters to move up 2 divisions. But it's not just that, my people. It's that Crawford is also trying to become undisputed in a 3rd division. So he's just trying to make history. If he was to fight Jerron Boots Ennis, think about it. If he meets Jerron Boots Ennis at 154, Boots wouldn't even be a champion in that division. Because we already know that Crawford is never going to fight at welterweight again. So if he fight Boots at 154, Boots won't even be a champion. So Crawford would be just there to defend his title. In the other hand, moving up 2 divisions to fight Canelo, he'll be fighting for undisputed. He'll be fighting for undisputed to make it, get that undisputed crown in a third division. Yo, that would be historic. That would be monumental. Plus, he'll be fighting one of the best fighters of this era. Considerably, Canelo is the best fighter of this era, but Crawford is going to be in that argument. And Crawford has been on that argument. You know, becoming undisputed multiple times already puts him in the argument for best of this era. But now when we're talking about him moving up 2 divisions and beating Canelo, now we're going to have to talk about Terence Crawford arguably being the best, you know, one of the best ever. It's no longer going to be about, oh, Crawford is the best fighter of this era. Forget that. If he beats Crawford, we're talking about the all-time list. Is Crawford, you know, in the top 20 of all-time greats? Is he on the top 10 of the all-time greats? Does he crack the top 5? We got to see. But at the end of the day, you know, he's trying to make history. So I understand why Terence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is way bigger than Bud versus Jerome Boots Ennis. You know, Crawford versus Boots is a big fight. Don't get it twisted. That's a big fight. But it's not bigger than Crawford versus Canelo. You know, I ain't gonna lie to you, and don't lie to yourselves. Crawford versus Canelo is the biggest fight right now in boxing. There is no bigger fight. There is none. Watch when they actually sign the contracts and they get into training camps. This is going to be the talk in all boxing networks, all boxing channels, all boxing social media platforms. It's all going to be about Terence Bud Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Nobody going to be talking about nothing else. And then when fight week comes, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. This fight is going to be huge. Pay-per-view numbers, huge. And I'm telling y'all right now, Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez is going to crack 1 million pay-per-views. 1 million pay-per-view buys. Watch. Remember that I told y'all. Because there was some, you know, there's always going to be the haters out there hating. Oh, that fight's not going to sell that much. Like, you crazy, man. You wildin'. Gabriel Barrett, yeah. They got to be going on at 147. Gabe, yes, I agree. Crawford beats Canelo, most definitely will crack that top 10 all-time great. Yo, that's what I'm talking about, my brother. If Terence Crawford is able to jump up 2 divisions to beat Canelo Alvarez at 168 with no rehydration clause, it's not a catch weight. Like, it's really at 168. That's it. That's going to be monumental. That's going to be a historic win. That's why I'm even wondering, you know, after a win like that, does Terence Crawford retire? You know, is he even going to want to fight again after accomplishing something like that? Think about it. He'll be undisputed in a third division. He'll be undefeated. Like, I think he's probably going to have to consider, yo, I done did it all. Did it all multiple times. I'm the king of a division again. So let's see how it goes. But I think Terence Crawford, you know, if he chooses to retire, who's going to be able to knock him or hate him after a win like that? And he'll be going out on top. He'll be going out on top of the world, literally, as the greatest boxer of this era and one of the greatest of all time. And undefeated. That's it. What do you do? And I know Eddie Hearn want to make Terence Crawford versus Jerome Boots Ennis. But again, you know, where does that fight happen? Boots is trying to become undisputed at 147 right now as we speak. That's what he's trying to accomplish. So where can we possibly get Terence Crawford versus Jerome Boots Ennis? In what division? Taking into account that Bud is going to be fighting at 168. I don't know where that fight. I have a hard time seeing that fight happening unless they're gonna meet up like at 160 or something like that. Unless Crawford says, okay, let me figure out what division I feel comfortable after fighting at 168, and we can meet up right there. But whoa, it's gonna be, a historic event. And what's gonna make this such a big deal? If y'all think about it, man, so many people talking about how basically they're saying Crawford don't have a chance to beat Canelo. JJ said that has good morning, Jay Smith. 160 will be the best for them. Good morning, my brother. I agree with you. I think 160 is going to be the right division for them to meet up. I think 160 is where they can meet up and make it happen. But then you got to think about Boots, though. Is Boots and his team willing to move up all the way to 160? Because that's a lot for him as well. I mean, Boots is a big guy. He a big guy, so I'm pretty sure he can make. I'm pretty sure he can make 160. I'm just saying because obviously, if he goes that far up, it's gonna be for that one fight versus Terence Crawford. And you got to keep in mind, if Crawford beats Canelo at 168 and he decides to meet up with Boots at 160, neither one of them will be champions in the division. So there wouldn't even be a title on the line. So that's why, there's a lot of things to consider for that fight. Can it happen? Can it happen at 160? Does Crawford want to fight a non-title fight at that division? So there's a lot of things to consider. But like I said, if Crawford and Canelo do fight in September, we already know it's at 168. We already know there's no rehydration clause. Under those circumstances, I honestly don't see Crawford versus Boots. I don't see it. I don't know how they can make that fight happen because there's so many different things. Them having to meet at a catchweight, neither one of them being a champion if they meet at 160. Can Crawford drop all the way down to 154, two divisions down, to defend his title versus Boots, who would be moving up? There's a lot of factors that we have to consider for that fight to actually happen. Sampath Kumar, crash the car, my boy. Don't be scared. Okay, so we talking boxing, you're talking about crash the car. You're clearly a goofball, and I don't got time for you. So, peace out, sucker. Goofy. But again, my people, y'all know how it is, man. I have to cook these people before I kick them the hell out of here. But again, my people, Crawford versus Boots, that's a dream fight that honestly we might not get. I want to see it. And I'm just trying to be realistic with y'all. Because I could sit here and tell y'all, oh, we're going to get this fight. Watch, it's going to happen. But I honestly don't see it happening. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm not going to make shit up. Like, yeah, the fight's going to happen. Nah, bro. Nah. Listen, like I said, with Crawford fighting at 168, I don't know how they can make the fight with Boots happen. Think about it. It was just this Saturday that Boots fought at 147. Just right now at 147. We got Crawford fighting at 168. That's 3 divisions above where Boots just fought. So how can they meet up? How do they fight each other? And my peoples, if you support Jay Smith, if y'all want to talk boxing with me, if you support Box Center, I appreciate those who hit that like button. Damn, I see I only got 3 likes. Why y'all gotta do me like this, man? Damn. Like I'm a C-level fighter out here getting pummeled. Hit that like button, my people. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to Box Center. Don't forget to share these videos. Let everybody know Box Center is going to be the #1 boxing channel. The #1 live is the inevitable. It is the inevitable, my people. Don't wait till I blow up to jump in the bandwagon. Jump in the bandwagon now, my people. Support Jay Smith. And I was saying earlier, man, Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois, that's a heck of a fight. That's a heck of a fight. You see B-Roll versus Beterbiev, how that was a slugfest, and they went at it with each other. Yo, Dubois versus Usyk is going to be that type of fight. I mean, if you saw the first one, it was that type of fight. And I've been telling y'all, Dubois, and I'm not hating on Usyk. Usyk is actually one of my favorite active fighters. I love the way Usyk fights. Very technical, sharp. He's the most technical heavyweight of this era. And right now we can already say he's the best heavyweight of this era with everything he's been able to accomplish. The guy was undisputed at cruiserweight, bro. Moved up to heavyweight, became undisputed again. So, you know, Usyk is for real. He's the truth. But I remind y'all, Daniel Dubois dropped him with a nasty body shot, and that could have been a stoppage. It wasn't a stoppage because the referee ruled it a low blow. But if you look at the replay, that shot was legit. It was a legit body shot. So, you know, Dubois could have, should have won that first fight. But that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. The referee didn't see. To the referee's credit, he was actually at an angle that he didn't see the punch landing. And when Usyk went down, he kind of put his hands in his crotch like it was a low blow. So he sold it. Usyk did a good job selling it as a low blow. But nah, yo, that was a body shot from Dubois that dropped him nasty. And that's why I think, and I've been saying it, anybody who's been on live with me recently, y'all know I've been saying it. People ask me who I felt deserved a rematch with Usyk, and I've been saying, yo, Dubois deserved his rematch. It gotta be Dubois. We gotta remember how that first fight played out. Gabe, you're right realistically. It won't happen. Too many moving parts. That's what I'm saying, my brother. It's too, oh, shit, man. What the fuck? It's too many moving parts for that to happen. It's too complicated. You know, when you have Gerard Ennis, who just fought right now at the 147 division, and Crawford, whose next fight is going to be at 168, where the hell do they even meet up? You know, obviously it would have to be, or most likely it would have to be at a catch weight, just because I don't see Terence Crawford dropping down 2 whole divisions to fight in his very next fight. I don't see that happening. MAW, hello Boxing Fast J in chat. Smash that like button, folks. MAW, I appreciate you, my guy. You already know what it is, man. We talking boxing. It looks like we're gonna get Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. And MAW, I think you was on you've been on live when I've been saying it. That's the fight that needed to happen. That's the rematch. You know, Dubois is the guy that deserves that fight with Alexander Usyk, based on what took place in the first fight. So I'm with it. I know it's gonna be, you know, a competitive showdown. We know that Usyk is always gonna bring it, and the same with Dubois, because that first fight, it was a good fight, man. It was an interesting fight. Let's see how the rematch is gonna play out. I want to see it. I feel like Dubois is gonna go into that fight feeling confident in himself. Feeling confident in himself. I want to see it. I want to see it. But the fight that I want to see the most, the fight that I've been talking about for years, my people, is Terence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. Yo, you can even see, if you go far back enough, you'll find videos in this channel where I'm saying I want that fight. I'm calling for that fight. And there's people mocking me, ridiculing me. You don't know shit about boxing. Canelo versus Crawford is never going to happen. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't understand the sport. And look, we're this close to getting that fight. It's going to happen. I already see it as the inevitable. JJ's in their house. Have to get it done soon before they fade away from each other. So when it comes to Canelo versus Crawford, I think it's gonna happen next. Canelo versus Boots, I just don't think it's gonna happen. For what I said earlier, they're already gonna be fighting three divisions apart. Boots just fought at 147. Crawford is gonna fight at 168. So I don't see, how they even make that fight happen. What division will they be able to meet up at? Like, would they meet at a catch weight of 160? Is Boots willing to go to 160 after just fighting at 147? We know he got his own plans. You gotta understand, us the fans, to us it's easy. Yeah, go to 160 and meet Crawford there, and you guys can fight there. Great. But you gotta remember, my people, Boots got his own things that he's trying to accomplish. He's trying to become undisputed at welterweight, which for him to accomplish that, he still got Mario Barrios and Brian Norman Jr., who are holding two titles in that division. MAW, I thought it was unrealistic at first, but I warmed to it. Regardless who wins, I will enjoy it. Yeah, my brother, we definitely gonna enjoy that one. It's gonna be a great fight, a competitive fight. We know the type of fighter Crawford is. We obviously know the type of fighter Canelo is. This is going to be a classic one. It's going to be a classic fight. And that's it. It's finally going to happen. Like I said, I got ridiculed a lot. People telling me that I don't know shit about boxing. The whole argument about weight classes for a reason. And I try to explain it to people. Oh my goodness. I try to explain it to people. Yes, there are weight classes for a reason. But when we talk about weight classes for a reason, there are things that people just not considering that I do take into account. And it's physical size. Canelo, they're able to make this fight happen because Canelo is not a big dude. I've been telling people, Canelo's a very small 168 pounder. And then Crawford is not a small guy. And not to mention, he's a little bit taller than Canelo and he has more reach than Canelo. So because of that, because physical advantages over Canelo, that's why I saw that fight as a possibility. I seen it. So there you have it, my peoples. That's what I got for you this morning. I'm about to get the hell out of here. I appreciate everyone who tuned in. JJ's in there, has MAW, and everybody else who tune in. Always showing love. Always hit that like button. And y'all already know, man, Box Center is going to be the #1 boxing channel. Period. There's no getting around it. The inevitable. Go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe to Box Center. Don't forget to share these videos. Let everybody know this is where it's at, my people. Y'all already know, man. This is Jay Smith. I'm on Box Center, your favorite boxer's favorite boxing show. Get the hell out of here, my people. I'll see y'all later, man. Look at this goofball over here getting in my way.